And we're back for another episode of The Rise of the MattMobile. You may have thought things had stopped, but they have not. They're still going on. First up, and maybe most importantly, is that the car has now been relocated in the shop. It's now sort of sitting a little more centrally so that we can get access to it. And what's most interesting is the shell is now in its proper position. I think I had it lined up before, but I was never quite happy with it. There was a few things about it that didn't quite sit well with me, no pun intended. But as of right now, the shell is exactly where it's supposed to be in relation to the frame when things are done. The big thing that's going on right now is Bo and I are preparing to mount the shell to the frame. And the way we're going to do that is similar to the way that Corvettes are built, because Corvettes have a fiberglass shell which is mounted to a metal frame. And rather than bolt the shell directly to the frame, what we're going to be doing is creating a bunch of mounting points, and then we'll mount the shell using little rubber bouncy thingies. I forget the name. And the rubber bouncy thingies will go in between metal supports and these little boxes that I'm making. And these here are the boxes. So these are all going to be fiberglassed inside the shell. Then attached to those will be bouncy thingies, and then bouncy thingy goes to metal arm, which goes to the frame. Assembling these was kind of interesting, and not only are they made out of plywood and they've been like hammered together, but I also put fiberglass all over them, both matting and the resin, in order to strengthen them. And this is actually the first time I used a product called Cabasil, which is a thixotropic agent, meaning it just thickens the stuff up. And the way I understand it is Cabasil is chemically inert, so it doesn't change the properties of the resin I'm using, it just makes it thicker. So it created like a putty almost that I was able to put on really thick, because normally what would happen is, like if I'm doing something like this, I have to wait for one side to dry and then flip it over because the stuff is so viscous, it just flows smoothly. So Cabasil. Also for reference, as usual, I'm using the West Systems epoxy resin. I don't like the polyurethane stuff, not only because it smells really bad, but it's also not as good, not as resilient. West Systems is a lot more expensive, but as with most things, you get what you pay for. Here's where another one of the mounting points is going to go on the back of the car. We've got a matching one over on this side. But what we've done so far is just marked off where all the mounting points are going to be, and then once those boxes I just showed you are all cured up, I'm going to glass those in on the inside. For those of you who are curious, yes, that is my TARDIS in the background. And speaking of the project workbench, I just built this workbench today using some scrap and some lumber I picked up. It's pretty nice because it's about waist height, so I can work on it standing up. Oh, that's Ewan's TARDIS on the ground there. Let me give you a quick 360 of the shop. Oh, there's my Harley Davidson. There's the MattMobile sign. There's my other workbench with my fiberglassing stuff on it. There's the TARDIS. The chairs for the car are currently in there. You can see over on the back wall there, I've sort of organized finally all my tools and stuff that I use for like prop making or hand stuff. And I've ended up stacking a lot of stuff up on the shelves just to try to get it off the floor. So overall the shop is much more organized and a much more fun place to work. Now there's just room to get around. I also put together this little workstation by the door. It's got my drill press and my belt sander and a whiteboard, just sort of, you know, another little work area. I still need to find a place for my mill and lathe. I don't know where those are going to go. I originally had those planned to go on the first workbench, but that got monopolized. Anyhow, that's it for now. That's what the shop currently looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this update video, and with any luck, soon I'll have another video that shows how those boxes get glassed in inside the shell. Peace out.